Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of FMC Weekly. So after my comp Melbourne Summer, I've decided to learn FMC for the last week, and it's been really fun to actually learn this event. I think it's a really cool event, and I think it's very underappreciated by a lot of people. I really do enjoy the more mental aspect of this event rather than just turn. So yeah, it's really been a nice break from constant speed solving, and it's really given me a new appreciation for speed cubing. And so yeah, I'm going to be, this is going to be my first breakdown of my FMC weekly result. And this was actually 26, which is really quite good for me actually. And I actually found a domino reduction, which I don't really do very often. And I don't even really understand fully the concept. I only know how to do 2 cases, and I'm actually pretty lucky that I got one of those cases today. So yeah, let's just get started. So this was the scramble. I tried a bunch of EOs on red front because it had 4 bad, which is like the best case. But I tried a bunch of different EOs, and what I ended up finding was actually, I looked after my attempt and saw that someone who got a 21 actually used the same EO. So yeah, what I did was I saw that there was 6 bad on the green front axis. And how you solve 6 bad is you turn 3 bad edges into good edges. And that was already perfectly set up for me because these 3 are bad. So I did an F to make them good. And then I tried a bunch of stuff from here, like doing just a U prime R2 and then just solving them. But in the end, I ended up trying something that I learnt from watching some FMC reconstructions. It's actually like switching during EO. So I pretty much did about 20 EOs. 10 of them were just normal EOs with no switching in the middle, and 10 of them were doing partial EO, switching, and then doing the rest of EO. So this was actually one of the last EOs that I found, which is pretty interesting. And from here, after switching, it's actually perfectly set up to 2 moves to solve EO from here. Because you have these 3 bad, it's 4 bad, and you have 3 bad edges on the front, and then the last bad edge is here, so you just put it on the front and do F. And now, after turning here, I realized that I had 4E4C for domino, which is one of the 2 cases that I know how to do. So, and this is already a partial bar, and I noticed the corners here. So instead of doing a U prime R2, or U prime, R prime D2, technically, I did a L prime F2, because that not only sets up this bar, but it also sets up the 2 edges, 2 UD layer edges in the E layer perfectly. And I noticed that there's these 2 corners and this missing edge. So how I dealt with this is I put these 2 corners on the top, and then I just matched them with this edge, which preserves everything else, and then I just made domino reduction. So yeah, and I looked for a few squares, and I checked this square with this pair, the edges here. So I did L2, F, L2, or what would that be? D2, L, D2. This makes the square, but I noticed there aren't really good continuations from it, which is what I thought until I saw this square and this edge. So I did RB2 to make that. And then I got pretty lucky here and got this square. So I did an F2 to make a pseudo 2x2x3. So I pre-moved the F2, added it into my solution, and got this from it. And then from here, it's pretty nice because it's solving corners in 4 moves. So to solve the corners, just do this, and that. And now that leaves 2E in 21 moves, because I actually had the F from the start to set up to 4 bad edges, and then the F2 pre-move actually cancel out. And then there's a D move, 2 D moves in a row on the inverse that cancel out. So it was going to be 23 moves to 2E, but it was 21 moves to 2E. And now I'm going to show you guys the skeleton. Okay, so the first point in the insertion is after a B2, is after an F2 B2, and the 2 moves after R prime D2. So yeah, I still am struggling with edge insertions, so this definitely was not optimal. Maybe it is, I don't know. I have to check insertion finder, but... So what I did was the moves before were F2, B2, so I did B2, F2, L2, F2, B2, R2, which leaves me with 3E in 22, because it only adds one move because the F2, B2 cancel out, so that cancels 4, and then the end was an R2, and the move after it was an R prime, so that just cancels 1, so that cancels 5 from a 6-move alg, which leaves me with 22 to 3 edges, which is pretty nice, especially considering I did domino, so there's going to be a lot of double moves. So yeah. So at this point in the skeleton, the moves before it was an L prime, and the move after it was a D. So I did this 6-mover, F2, D, U prime, R2, U, and then D prime, which cancels 2. So that originally is 6-mover, 4-mover, add that to 22, you get a 26. So yeah.